Alright, so we can't have it all. Liverpool sensationally crash out of the FA Cup in the 4th round against Plymouth Argyle. Exactly. I'm going to talk about it, but not really about the match in any great detail because, one, who wants to revisit it, and two, there's really very little to revisit. Very little positive talking points. But then I will try and frame it in a way that makes all of this totally fine. So an hour before kickoff, I'm looking at the team sheet and I'm like, huh. As I'm mentally trying to arrange positionally where everyone's going, I'm like, okay, I seen Chiesa's big face in the poster for the lineup. I'm like, good. Chiesa starts. Jota, brilliant. Diaz, Elliott, no problem. Okay, a little inexperienced behind them, but not a problem. Who's on the bench? I'm like, okay, Nunez, yeah. Jones, yeah. And that's it. It was surprising to see the lack of first team regulars just in the squad. You know what I mean? So you have Endo playing centre back, you have Nyoni and McConnell centre mid. At least give me a Kanate centre back and push Endo up into midfield or something. You know, just give me a little bit of security. Because the whole back line, like, yeah, Endo is the leader, really, of the back line there. But is he as vocal? He is quite vocal, but is he as vocal as one of the big dogs? You know, who you'll do what they say for fear of them absolutely ripping you to shreds. And like, Endo's a great leader, but are they worried about Endo ripping them? I don't think so. Give me a big bastard centre back, please, and then let's experiment. So I'm just going to vent a little bit and get that out of my system, and then I'm going to look at it in a much more positive light. We played like an international team. Essentially, a team of players who do not play together very often. There was no chemistry. There was no control over the game. They were better than us. You can't even really blame the junior lads too much. A lot of the blame that I've seen online, which you can take to the bank, is on Tsimikas, Diaz, Jota, Elliott and Chiesa. Basically saying they were all rubbish, which they were. You would think that a team with that attacking threat would have enough. And if I may say, before I even continue, fair play to you for even watching this video, because I tell you, this was a tough one to get up at 5 a.m. for. I'll tell you that. So if you're watching this, fair play to you. Vent continuing. Chiesa frustrated the shit out of me yesterday. Actually, they all did. It's not even fair just to criticise Chiesa, who had his 3rd start in a Liverpool shirt. You could argue, like, if we'd have won, everyone would be like, absolute masterstroke from Arne Slot again. Doesn't risk the first team players and we still progress. Then obviously when it doesn't, you're looking at it like, well, of course we're not going to win with this team. I get it, and I'm glad that he's prioritising the other cups, which I'll talk about in a bit. But, I mean, just give me Kanate. Give me Sobo. You know, give me Big Gak on the bench. A sort of a break Gak in case of emergency sort of situation. If I'm picking out key moments of the game, McConnell had a shot. Should have been a goal maybe. Jota had a snapshot. Nunez had a header right at the end. Oh, but I will say one thing. Kelleher coming up at the end. I'm like, and he actually got his head on it. Oh, imagine. I mean, wasn't to be. Not even gonna. I'm not even going to. Do you know? And like, I don't know if I'm like a cold-hearted bastard, but when I see a team like that where it's like 81, 82 minutes and they're giving it the whole every clearance or every goal kick or every corner or whatever, the bastard in me is a bit like, crush their fucking dreams. But actually, I mean, fair play to them. Plymouth, you know, it's what it's all about, isn't it? That's the magic of the FA Cup. We went out of the FA Cup, I believe, in the 4th round in 2020, when we won the league. And are any of us looking back now and be like, oh, but that 4th round exit? No. We're all focusing on, wow, we finally won the big one. And this one, if we win it, will be even bigger still. We'll actually have people to celebrate. That probably leads me in. I'm not going to bother talking about what we witnessed yesterday. But congratulations, Plymouth. All the best. You got to say that, haven't you? But let's frame this in a much more positive way. Because it's not about life. It's not about what happens to us. It's how we interpret what happens to us. It's the stories we tell ourselves. Shut up, Andy. But I don't think this squad is big enough to compete on all four fronts. I think you could choose. I think you could choose to look at this. You could choose to look at this as absolutely devastated. Slot has knocked us out of this cup. I seen one tweet yesterday that was Darwin, Elliott, Jota, Chiesa, Tsimikas. They've all ended their Liverpool career then and there. Let's not overreact. Like I said, I don't think the squad is big enough to compete on all four fronts. So some cups are going to have to suffer. Yes, the FA Cup is more prestigious than the Carabao Cup, League Cup. If we have to win any sort of domestic trophy, fine. Let's pick the one that we're already in the final for. We only have one more game rather than potentially, I don't know, what, 3-4 more games? 5? I don't know what it is. But here's some positives. Here's 5 positives as to why this is actually a great thing, and I'm fine, actually. 1, it gets rid of all the treble, quadruple talk now. So it doesn't become a thing, you know, hanging over us. Not hanging over us. I mean, it's great to be competing, but you know what I mean? It doesn't become one of those things that's like, could they do it? And then it gathers momentum, like, the quad is still on, you know. I'll just take the league and the Champions League, thanks very much, and the Carabao. Number 2, our first teamers all got a rest, most of them, which is invaluable. You know, it's like Jan, Feb, we've given them all a rest in the dead rubber Champions League match. We gave them all a rest in this match. So, you know what I mean? And now we don't even have extra FA Cup games to risk them in. It's just, right, that's that. Number 3, our first teamers will get another rest. I think it's the week before we play our first leg, last 16 match in the Champions League, with the second leg then being at Anfield. So I'll take that. 4, it gives the club a collective kick up the arse without sacrificing a league win. If you were to tell me last week, okay, Liverpool have a Spurs 1-0 defeat to overcome, an away match against Plymouth in the 4th round of the FA Cup, and an away match against Everton on Wednesday, you have to lose one. Which one are you picking? I'd say, thanks very much, FA Cup, I'll get me coat. With the Spurs one, we're so close to a final, and we have the chance to stick it to Spurs, which we did. Plymouth, fine. If anything, we're keeping the magic of the FA Cup alive after a pretty boring weekend of football. So, you're welcome. And then Everton, I do not want any. If you were to even just give me Plymouth or Everton, I'd still say I'll take the Plymouth loss. I don't want any league defeats. That would sting way more than this. So this gives us a collective kick up the arse. It instills okay, we gotta fucking switch on. It's a free hit of lesson learned without really damaging any of the titles that we actually want. You know, didn't even want this fucking title anyway. And 5, we saw Endo. I'm sorry, I actually had 4. I only had 4. So, fuck it. Here's a quote for you. Life doesn't happen for you. No. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Wow, what an interesting wise quote. He definitely made up himself. I didn't know he was so smart. Fucking hell. We may not know it yet. It stings at the minute. But if we were to slip ourselves up and look down on the season, we'd be like, you know what? Yes. Because look at what happened as a result. So, good, if anything. Do you know who I'll bet is looking at this as well and thinking, oh, shit. 1, Arsenal. Because they're like, shit, now they have less games to play. And Everton, because you know they're going to get the brunt of it now.
And now, he's going to get revenge on Homer Simpson.
Last game at Goodison. We'll give you something to remember. Would you swap out any other club in the world? Nope. Are you still the best team in the league, best team in Europe? Yep. And also, like, as a slight side note, can we If we say that Liverpool, I see it a lot on TV and stuff and online where it's like, they're the best team in England, you know, Carragher. They're the best team in England, probably the best team in Europe. And it's like, if they're the best team in Europe, can we just say that that means they're the best team in the world? Is there a better team on another continent, better than Europe's best team? Let's just say they're the best team in the world. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. The views will no doubt tank on this video because Liverpool didn't win. And you know what? I don't blame the people who didn't watch, but the people who did watch, you're the real ones. If you haven't subscribed, I would kindly ask you to subscribe. If not, I don't want to put any rules on you, man. Also, if you want some merch, you probably won't after this. You won't want to remember any of that. But if you do want merch, the link is down below. Thank you so much to everyone who has done something positive about this show. Whether they've shared it, or sent it on to a mate, or liked it, or commented, or bought merch, or whatever. I'm truly grateful, so thank you so much. I'll be back after the Everton game as normal order will be restored. Join me for that, and in the meantime, have a great week, and up the fucking Reds.